Okay, Siman Chaf Dalet, 414. Hanhagat levishat hatzitzit. How to wear the tzitzit, uschara, and its reward, ve'onsha, and its punishment, uvo shisha seifim, and there are 6 halachot in this section. Says Maran, Im en adam lovesh talit, if a person does not wear a talit, an article of clothing, bat arba kanfot, that has 4 corners, eino hayav b'tzitzit, he is not obligated to wear tzitzit, period. Meaning, does one have to wear tzitzit?
No.
No, unless
One's wearing
they're wearing a 4-corner garment. How many of you wear 4-corner garments on without, that's not a designated tzitzit?
I have
No,
a
no.
poncho.
Maybe a poncho.
There aren't a lot of 4-cornered garments
Exactly,
that
right.
are not tzitzit.
V'tov v'nachon, which, by the way, makes it a strange way to judge if people are religious or not, if they wear tzitzit. I've seen this used as a litmus test.
How do you tell?
Do they wear kippah or tzitzit? If they're sticking out of their pants. So even
Yeah,
the
but I
people,
mean,
even the people who wear tzitzit, who put them inside, they're already judging them as not religious. This is
Right.
I've heard this mentality too many
Or
times in my life.
keep a sruga.
The big cover-up.
V'tov v'nachon, and it's good and proper. Lihiyot kol adam, that every man should be zahir, careful. Lidbosh, to wear talit katan, the tzitzit, kol hayom, all day long. K'dei sheyizkor hamitzvot b'chol rega, in order that he'll remember the mitzvot every moment that he's wearing it. And that's the reason, says Maran, Valken yesh bo 5 ksharim. It has in it 5 knots. Keneged 5 chumshei Torah, corresponding to the 5 books of the Torah. This is so not typical of Maran that I cannot say it any other way. Ve'arba'a, turn the page to 416. Kanafim, has 4 corners. Shebechol tzad shifnei yizkor. That way, in every direction that you look, you remember the 5 chumashim. V'nachon lelovsho al hamalbushim, and it's proper to wear the talit on top of your clothing.
Charedim, do they wear their tzitzit over their white
Yeah, some
shirts?
Hasidim do that. Do you remember? We spoke
Williamsburg.
about this earlier in chapter 8, in Siman Chet, that it's not the custom. Even if Maran mentions that it's not what Jews mostly do, to wear it on top of their clothes. V'lefachot yizaher sheyeh lavush tzitzit b'shat tefillah. But at the very least, he should wear tzitzit when he prays. It's very vague. When he prays, what?
Shema.
Is that what it says?
This it says here.
In the Hebrew?
No. Anglit.
It doesn't say here
I
in
know,
the
I'm
Hebrew.
just reading what the translation is.
There are some who understand this, that even if a person
It
wears
also
tzitzit,
says talit, not tzitzit. First, Shema. Kriyat Shema.
Sounds like a little bit of a liberal translation there.
Well, I mean, it's a free translation, and this is what I got.
But yeah, it's interesting that it's talit instead
It
of
may not
tzitzit.
be up to par. But
What-
But it's interesting that they made that.
what you
extra
could try to
sensitive.
infer from here is that even if a person doesn't wear tzitzit, that by shachrit mincha in Arvit, he should wear tzitzit. It doesn't say that, but it's an interesting way to read it. Okay.
Is there any commentary that supports that?
I don't know about a commentary, but I've seen synagogues in which that happens.
Oh yeah, they put on talesi.
Yeah.
Talitot.
Is it fine?
Let's look on the middle,
Right.
page 414. Siman Chaf Dalet.
Right, it's fine.
Mikar adin, according to the basic halacha. En chiyuv livosh talit katan, a person does not have to wear tzitzit, shel arba kanfot with 4 corners, b'meshach kol hayom, all day long. V'rak im yesh lo beged shel arba kanfot, only if he has a 4-cornered garment, v'rotze lelovshon, he wants to wear it, chayav latil bo tzitzit. That's the case where he must put on tzitzit.
I knew someone in Denver. He would wear a talit katan when he went out of the house. But maybe I understood it right. But when he's in his house, because he has mezuzot around, he didn't need to wear it.
Never heard of such a thing, but it could, I believe you that he did such a thing.
It was interesting. But
I haven't heard it. I haven't believed it. I just haven't heard it. We come, but in any case, it's fitting and proper. Very fitting and proper. שכל אדם ישתדל לקיים מצווה יקרה זו במשך כל יום. That every person should try to fulfill this mitzvah throughout the day. שיש כולה כנגד כל המצוות שבתורה, because as the Talmud says, it's considered a person who wears tzitzit as if they fulfilled all the mitzvot in the Torah. וכדי שיזכור המצוות בכל עת ובכל שעה, and that he may remember the mitzvot at every moment. וכמו שנאמר, like it says, וראיתם אותו, you should see it, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, you should remember all the mitzvot of Hashem, ועשיתם אותם, and you will do them. So we find already in the Torah that the Torah makes mention that you remember the mitzvot when you wear your tzitzit. That's probably why Maran goes out of his way to try to find a connection. There's another calculation of math, how this works out. Let me remember 6, 5, 3, 5. It's a very simple equation that reaches 613 somehow. But don't ask me how, because I don't remember. There's some kind of nice footnote here. I'm not sure that I feel we should do it. Let's do the footnote. Why not? 414 on the bottom of the page.
Where? Siman
414 where it says Siman Chaf Dalet.
This one.
The story in the beginning is strange. I'm not sure that I understand the deeper side of it all. There was a rabbi of Ketina who was laying with a sheet that didn't have tzitziot on it, and the angel came and said, "How could you do such a thing?" And he says, "But it's a different kind of sheet. Why are you going to punish me?" He said, "I would have punished you." It's a nice story. I'm leaving the angels and punishing people. Let us read 4 lines down towards the end of the line. V'izbiru Tosfot. Tosfot explained. See that? The last 2.
Yeah.
Shedafka bimehem, only in their days of the Talmud, Shahayu malbushem kach, that they wore such clothing, Ba'arba kanvot, that had 4 corners. Hayu ne'nashim, they would be punished, Mishalo haya lahem tzitzit, people who did not have tzitzit. Aval bezman hazeh, but nowadays, she'en ha'olam regilim b'malbushim ke'elu, the people don't, where's nowadays? Nowadays is Tosfot in France, 1,000 years ago. Nowadays, the people don't wear such clothing, en tzach liknot, you don't have to go out of your way to go buy tzitzit. When you learn Shulchan Aruch, Orthodox Judaism goes down the drain. Ach tov liknot talit, but it's good to buy a talit, ulvarech alav b'chol yom, and to make a blessing on it every day. Uchmo she'amru b'sotah, like a rabbi saying in Tractate Sotah on page 14a, al Moshe Rabbeinu, about Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom. Shnitava likanes l'Eretz Yisrael, that he so much wanted to go into the land of Israel. V'chi lechol mepiryahu tzarich. A rabbi said, what? He wanted to go in because he wanted that special fruit from the land of Israel. That's why he so much wanted to go inside. No, that's how much he wanted to fulfill the mitzvot that are only obligated to fulfill in the land of Israel. Meaning, does one have to go to Israel to fulfill the obligation? No. But he so much wanted to put himself in a situation where he could obligate himself in a mitzvah that currently he wasn't obligating himself in. He wasn't obligated in. Therefore, He's trying to say the same thing about tzitziot. We should try to obligate ourselves in something, even if we're not obligated in it, because we want that mitzvah so much.
So hypothetically, at Mincha Arvit, if you're with a minyan, you could put on Talit Katan for that?
Yeah, we're not even... The pshat is like Jack said. That you need to wear tzitzit when you say Shema, because you're talking about tzitzit, and it's like you're lying when you say wear tzitzit, and you're not wearing tzitzit.
But nighttime also? Because nighttime, we don't kiss the
You don't.
tzitzit.
Yeah, you don't wear.
Guys, help me out. There was a two-way argument about what does it mean, uritem uto, see your tzitzit.
Great, that is hard.
One said it's not nighttime that exempts you, rather.
It's light and dark.
Close. You are obligated to wear tzitzit at night, says one opinion. One opinion says you're not obligated to wear tzitzit at night because you have to see your tzitzit. So what does it mean? One rabbi says, if you wear daytime clothing at night, you're obligated to wear tzitzit. If you wear nighttime clothing by day, you don't have to wear tzitzit. You go by the clothing you're wearing. The clothing of daytime doesn't require tzitzit whenever you wear it. The clothing of nighttime, your pajamas, doesn't need tzitzit no matter when you wear it.
So if you, this is bizarre, but
Yes.
I mean, so if you come to show in
Your pajamas.
pajamas, we'll have a sleepover, right?
If you had a four-cornered pajamas that you wore, some poncho that you slept in, they don't need tzitzit according to this opinion because you wear them at night. And even if you wear them in the day, they're still considered nighttime clothing. The other opinion, remember this? The other opinion says, no, it's a day and night thing. In the day, you're obligated to tzitzit. At night, you're not. Now, what does halakha say? Well, we do both opinions. Daytime clothing, no matter when you wear it, you wear tzitzit because of the day. Nighttime clothing, no matter when you wear it, you put on tzitzit. If it's in the, that we are strict, like both opinions.
Wow.
So, regarding Avit, the bottom line is we would wear tzitzit even in the evening.
Do they do that in Israel, nighttime? Sisters?
Sure. In Israel, in Talmudic times, it was the custom to skip the third paragraph of Shema. Because how could you read about tzitzit when
Can't see
You
them.
can see.
you're not obligated in tzitzit? In Babylon, they believed that you couldn't just cut out chapters of Shema, and so we have the custom to say it even if people are not wearing tzitzit. It's understood. Shesovrim she'en, top of page 415 on the left. En chiyuv min hadin b'vishat talit klal. You don't have any halachic obligation to wear talit. V'kol sheken she'en chiyuv b'vishat talit katan kol yom. How much more so, you're not obligated to wear tzitziot all day long under your clothing. Uvemet, and the truth is, sheme'etzim she'eto shel Rav Katina l'malach, וכן שימו מצוות עשה, מוכח שאין לבישת בגד של בקר וחובה מן הדין, אשר בוודאי המבטא מצוות עשה, אפילו בשבת עשה, כגון שמניח תפילין, ושומע שובר בראש שנה, מענישים אותו. You find in the story that the rabbi asked the angel, are you going to punish me? Yeah, you can't punish me for a mitzvah that I'm not obligated in. You find that this mitzvah is different than tefillin or shofar, even though, you see, Shabbat has an obligation, one, that you must keep Shabbat, and two, that you cannot violate Shabbat. So even if I don't violate Shabbat, I'm still liable because I didn't keep Shabbat. Understand? That's a double-edged mitzvah. One doesn't have an obligation to eat, but if they eat, they have to keep kosher. They don't have to eat. They can just not eat.
Well, then they want to worry about kashrut.
Very good.
Breatharian, kosher.
For example,
They'd be kind of short-lived.
the Torah says that
That's
one must immerse their dishes that they buy, new dishes, in a mikveh. There's no prohibition of not immersing dishes in the mikveh.
You just can't use those dishes.
What?
Just glass and metal.
No, yeah, but what if I don't want to tovel them?
Can't use them.
Yeah, I know, but what if? Is there a prohibition that says
Thou shalt.
thou shalt not tovel dishes?
No.
No, it's only called a bitul mitzvat aseh. I'm holding myself back from fulfilling a biblical obligation. There is no biblical prohibition that I'm violating. Is that what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Not every biblical obligation has a prohibition attached to it. And therefore, many rabbis say that it's only rabbinic prohibition to not tovel dishes. Whereas the biblical to tovel dishes, if you don't, you're only violating a rabbinic prohibition. It has ramifications there.
So you don't have to tovel earthenware, like something made out of
Never.
clay?
No, it's not earthenware.
Or China.
China, maybe.
Zev didn't pull this question out of his head.
Maybe.
Many people tovel china,
I know.
ceramics. It's okay. They can't read. That's all.
And what about like you have a crock pot electric and you stick it in with an electric element?
That's ceramic.
The part that's cooking
You can take it
is
out.
the ceramic part,
Right, the ceramic.
Just
and therefore it
lift it up.
doesn't need tevila. If you were to cook directly in the crock pot, I don't know how you do that. I don't know if it's
Without
Oh,
blowing a
that's
tree.
interesting.
right. Yeah.
Just get
Let's imagine you could. That would require tevila. Metal and glass. Period. Anything else, don't take it to the mikveh. I once had a friend whose father-in-law demanded that it's their family custom to tovel china. He bought him china for his wedding, so what did he do? He wouldn't let him not tovel them. So he went and he toveled them. And he left all the stickers on in the bottom. Why? Because they're not really toveled if they have a sticker on them.
Right.
So
I mean, it
he
was-
gets a lot of
it's
pride
like
out of the fact that his father-in-law doesn't know that there's a sticker
sort of
underneath the plate.
passive aggressive kind
They're
of.
Yeah.
impossible to
Yes.
get off too.
That's
Yeah.
So we see from his question, if a person doesn't wear tefillin, they're violating a mitzvah taseh. They're losing out on a mitzvah taseh, but they're not.
They're not sinning by.
I mean, it's a prohibition to not fulfill the Torah's directives, but there's no violation of the law. Tzitzit doesn't even have that. If you don't wear tzitzit, not only are you not violating anything, that's obvious, but you're also not fulfilling a biblical directive. Because there is no obligation unless you're actually wearing a four-cornered garment. That's the difference between tzitzit and other mitzvot. Uv'mesechet Pesachim, and in Tractate Pesachim, Shaninu, we learn Shiva Menudim LaShamayim. There are 7 people who are excommunicated in heaven. Ve'echad mihem, and one of them, Mi she'en lo tzitzit bivgado. My Hebrew guys is too much English. A person who doesn't have tzitzit on his clothing. V'izbiru HaTosafot, and our Tosafot explain, D'hainu ksheyesh lo beged she'arba kanfot ve'eno lavsho. This is only talking about a case where he has a four-cornered garment and he's not wearing tzitzit on it. Inam efilu en lo yesh lachzor v'lavi etzmo lidei chiyuv v'chulei. And a person should go out of their way to try to obligate themselves in wearing tzitzit. Meaning that Talmud which says that if a person doesn't wear tzitzit, he's one of the 7 people who are excommunicated in heaven, is not proof that you have to wear tzitzit, says Tosafot. What that's telling you is just that's talking about a person who's wearing a four-cornered garment that he refuses to put tzitzit on. Who else is menuded to Shamayim? Who else is excommunicated? What does it mean excommunicated in heaven?
It means that after you, God forbid, when you pass away, then when you try to ascend upwards, they stop you there.
You're thinking of karet, which is, I guess they also use the word, cut off from heaven.
You mean like Spinoza? Whoops. Turn off.
Spinoza's rabbi was a big tzaddik that nobody studies. We study him by our parents, but Rabbi Menashe ben Israel was one of the...
Menashe ben Israel.
Yeah, you probably heard his name around. In academic circles, he's come around a little bit. A very special rabbi, for now, a different time.
There's a book by Rabbi Angel. It's by Maimonides, Pomosa, and us, or something.
And he quotes probably Menashe ben Israel in there.
Yeah.
So we have an interesting thing here, which is that there are a number of people who are menudim l'shamayim. One of them are people who promise something and don't fulfill their promise. What does it mean? It means that the Zohar tells us that a person who's menudim l'shamayim, who promises and doesn't fulfill, for 40 days they don't accept any of his tefillot in Shamayim. And that's why the Sephardic custom is not to wait until Erev Rosh Hashanah in order to do Hatarat Nedarim, but we do it first time 40 days before Rosh Hashanah, sometime in the month of Av. We do it that way, even if we annul our vows, we have 40 clean days until we get to Rosh Hashanah. We don't want Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, then nobody's going to listen to us in Shamayim, God forbid.
Right.
That's where that Kabbalistic custom comes from.
Do all
Well,
Sephardim do that?
Knowledgeable ones. No, what I mean is, I can't say all Sephardim
no, I
do
meant,
something.
is it the common?
Yeah, I think so.
Says,
Jack's getting more and more interested in
Well,
becoming Sephardi.
Conversions are only expensive the week before Pesach. The rest of the time, they're free. So, אולי באור זרוע, you can look in the אור זרוע, שכתב שאף על פי שמן התורה אינו חייב לעשות בגד שארבע כנפות לבשו, even though according to the Torah, you don't have to make yourself a four-corner garment and wear it, מכל מקום מדרבנן צריך לחייב עצמו במצוות ציצית. According to our rabbis, you should obligate yourself in the mitzvah of ציצית, ולכן מברך בלשון ציווי. And that's why you can say, Asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. Well, if the Torah doesn't command me to do it, so how can I say it? It's like any other rabbinic mitzvah, where you're allowed to say v'tzivanu on a mitzvah that our rabbis commanded us. V'od. And furthermore, shekivan shenahagu b'mitzvah zo, that because they have this custom, they've accepted, the Jewish people have accepted upon themselves to wear tzitzit, kibluha kichova. The Jewish people accepted the mitzvah of tzitzit as an obligation. It went out of the realm of being temporary to being optional to being actually something that's an obligation. You should know. Rabbi Mordechai Eliyahu, alav shalom, has in his writings that he believes Chalav Yisrael is a biblical prohibition.
Chalav Yisrael.
Yeah.
You must have.
You
not
must
goys
have,
make.
No, you must have Jewish milk.
Oh,
And it's a
kosher.
biblical, meaning, where even the Ashkenazim will agree, those who observe it, like the Hasidim, that it's a rabbinic commandment. He says the biblical one. Why? Because it was a rabbinic one that all the Jewish people accepted upon themselves, and now it has a status of a biblical commandment. And what he does with that is intense. If you're in doubt about a rabbinic mitzvah, you're lenient. You would drink the milk. If you're in doubt as a biblical prohibition, you wouldn't drink the milk. He makes all the doubts about Chalav Yisrael biblical, and therefore you can't do any of them. So even things that some Hasidim might be lenient about, he would be strict about. And yeah, so I can't tell that all Sephardic rabbis didn't keep Chalav Yisrael. That's not true. Especially not by Rabbi Mordechai Eliyahu. But his logic comes somewhere from here. And it's very strange to the Sephardic halachic arena. It's not, even to the Ashkenazi, you don't find any Ashkenazi rabbi saying this either. It's not like it's a Rabbi Mordechai Eliyahu thing. V'chen b'shut min HaShamayim, and the questions and answers that came from heaven. We've spoken about this book before, do you remember? It might have been a forgery. So if it backs up something we believe in, we use it, and if not, we don't use it. Katav betokef, he wrote against neged halvshim tzitzit sha'ah achad bayom. He wrote against the people who wear tzitziot for just an hour a day during prayer. Dechevan dechtiv uritem uschartem v'asitem, it says that you'll see them, you'll remember them, and you'll do them, the mitzvot. Uzman asiyat mitzvot kol hayom, and you have to do mitzvot all day long. Dechen af mitzvah tzitzit kol hayom, therefore mitzvah tzitzit, you have to do it the whole day. Okay, the rest here gets into other. Maybe we'll read the last line here. See V'harambam, it's the last word on the page to the left. V'harambam, the last word in the bottom left side.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
V'harambam, turn the page, the top right column. Perek Gimel Milchot Tzitzit Halachah Yud Aleph Katav B'Zohar Lashon. He writes these words. Even though if a person is not obligated to go buy himself a talit, and to wrap himself in it, in order to put tzitzit on it, it is not proper for a righteous person to exempt himself from this mitzvah. Rather, a person should always try to obligate to wear themselves. To wear clothing on themselves that is obligated in tzitzit, in order to fulfill this mitzvah. During tefillah, person has to be extra careful during tefillah to wear tzitzit. Then he writes, it's a terrible disgrace to Torah scholars, to pray, and they're not wrapped in a talit. Many would like to say from the Rambam, and I have seen Rambam do this, that it's not enough just to wear tzitziot, you must wear talitot when you pray. This is probably the early sources for the Ashkenazi custom where the Chazan wraps himself in a talit when he leads services. even if it's not like mincha time. I don't know if is that done by
It
you.
varies. Some
Very-
people do it and some don't.
Okay, so in yeshiva, for example, the chazan
Yeah,
always
they-
wore a
they-
talit in Baltimore. The reason probably comes somewhere like here. There's another midrash that says that Hashem wrapped himself in a talit like a shliach tzibur, like a chazan. So then you see from there the chazan wore a talit. V'chen pasak Maran b'Shulchan Aruch kan, and this is what Maran writes in the Shulchan Aruch here. And we're going to read the next paragraph tomorrow night, but perhaps just to finish off here. When Rabbi Yosef Masas writes about how in Morocco it was considered nobody wore talitot. Remember we spoke about this? Only the Torah scholars and people who wore talitot, they'd cover their head in talitot, they would rip off their talitot from them. You can learn out from the Rambam that he's really only talking about an Adam Chassid, a righteous person wears a talit all the time. But a normal person who's not, what does it mean not righteous? God forbid, it doesn't mean he's an evil person. But there are people who, you know about them that they're righteous people, and there are people that they're normal, good Jews like everybody else. It doesn't always mean rabbi. There are certain people who are considered tzaddikim in their own right. And it used to be in the Jewish community that we knew who was a tzaddik and who, not the opposite is not a rasha. There's normal Jew and there's chassid Jew, like Rabbeinu Avraham ben Arambam. Those who walk in the normal path and those who walk in the pious path. Kind of like when the Shulchan Aruch says that only Jews who are considered by everybody else to be chassidim, righteous, they're allowed to wear tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. But nobody else is allowed to wear tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam because it's considered egotistical. How could you put yourself in a category that nobody else considers you in? It's a complicated conversation to have. Especially in a world where, who are you to tell me who I am? This is the world we live in today. And it's difficult. Lubavitch Rebbe made an argument that today, it's already not so big deal. If you wear Rabbeinu Tam, nobody thinks you're showing off. A lot of people wear Rabbeinu Tam. Rav Peretz takes it a step further. He says only ignoramuses wear Rabbeinu Tam. So anyways, if you're wearing tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, so you're already telling you that you're ignoramus, so it's okay, you're not doing anything wrong. It's obviously not true. Obviously you have Torah scholars who wear Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. But we've changed, we've shifted, we've become a lot more democratic on who is righteous and who is not. And you can see from here that there was room to say that not everybody has to wear tzitzit all the time. Only those who are on that level where they constantly obligate themselves in mitzvot. This is why Rabbeinu Avraham ben Arambam, if you remember in the early pages of his book, he tells us, it will not help you to wrap yourself in a talit as a road of piety when the basic halachot of not wearing shatnez in your clothing you don't keep. Why do you tell? But they're both biblical commandments, no? The answer is no. He's going in the teachings of his father. Only righteous people wear. So you want to be righteous and wear a talit? Fine. But make sure that you keep all the normal halachot before you reach the level of righteousness. That's not the normal approach we would find on the Orthodox Jewish street today. Everybody wears tzitzit. Who are you? What kind of person doesn't wear tzitzit? We even have people who don't keep any mitzvot and they're wearing tzitzit. It's an interesting thing. This is the world we're in. You could say it's upside down. You could say that it's better. At least they're doing one mitzvah. I'm not here to judge anybody. But definitely Judaism has evolved on this point, on this topic, a lot farther than it used to be. We're in a different place than Maran and the Rambam used to be. We'll continue tomorrow.
Exactly.
Exactly.